Okay, so I wanted to record a video to discuss a little bit about why I created this account and the progression I've seen in my playing since I picked up the horn. I'm a comeback player. I've been playing trumpet since I was in 5th grade. I skipped 1st grade, so I think that means I was like 7 or 8. I'm 32 now, so it's been about 25 years. And I always loved the instrument. I love music. I went to music school for a couple years, but I've always been plagued by problems in my playing: inconsistency, lack of range, endurance, poor tone, poor articulation. I mean, you name it. And once in a blue moon, and the stars aligned and the machine was working through no control of my own, sheer providence. I mean, I knew I could sound great, but more often than not, I didn't. And I never lacked drive. I never lacked discipline. I've had a lot of good teachers over the years. I guess 2 good teachers, I should say, that really instilled that discipline in me. But I never got to bear the fruits of my labor until just recently. So actually 2 weeks ago, I was experimenting with my embouchure a little bit, experimenting with my setup, because I was starting to run into those same problems. After about 6 weeks of practicing, and I was feeling, a little stronger and feel my air moving, I was starting to feel stiff and just no range, no endurance. Like, damn, very discouraging feeling. So I started experimenting with taking a nasal breath, because in my mind, I was thinking that my embouchure was too far spread apart when I was setting up. And so I started setting the horn on my embouchure taking that nasal breath and then playing. And so what I came to realize is that if I took this nasal breath, pretty much immediately, the natural thing to do was to use a K-tongue modified. And I had always tongued with a T syllable, T, 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 behind the teeth. Very typical thing that gets taught in elementary music school, music classes. And if you read Claude Gordon or even Herbert L. Clark, he talks about this style of tonguing where the center of your tongue acts as a piston that interrupts the airstream. And that never made any sense to me until I took this nasal breath, nice and relaxed, filled my lungs, and the only way to play was K-tongue modified. Now, that was a couple weeks ago. And what I realized is that I don't necessarily need to take a nasal breath. I just need to breathe right. And it all goes back to Claude Gordon's method: big breath, chest up. And I realized that what I had been doing before was that big, abdominal breath, sticking out your belly, which makes no sense. Your air is stored in your lungs, and the muscles in your chest and back act as an accordion and squeeze that air like a bellows. That's the way this thing works. That's how we blow. None of this is expanding your belly isn't going to do anything, or trying to have conscious control of your diaphragm. That's a whole nother topic of discussion. So what I quickly realized is that even if I breathe through my mouth, I can get air a lot more quickly through my mouth, and it doesn't matter because I'm keeping my chest up. I'm not trying to expand my belly when I breathe. I'm making sure that my lungs fill up, that my rib cage expands. I feel that cavity in my chest expand like a balloon. So really what I did to fix my playing was fix my breathing. And I'm pretty shocked that none of my teachers caught this. You know, I've been struggling my entire life. And my latest teacher, who was he was a Claude Gordon and Jimmy Stamp student, rest in peace, David Evans, you would think he would have caught this. Dave definitely helped me because I used to play off to the side. And so we did an embouchure change, and I got a lot more top lip, and I centered my embouchure, which, that's the correct way to play. I desperately needed more top lip in the mouthpiece. But he never caught the way that I was breathing. And the Claude Gordon breathing exercises are just fantastic. You got to keep your chest up. And I've listened to recordings of Claude give lessons and he says, if you're not keeping your chest up, then you're wasting your time. And so I'll do right here at the lake. I'll do a 2-mile walk every day, and I'll be doing my breathing exercises, walking around, chest up, looking very proud probably. But it makes a world of difference. The way I feel when I do them versus when I don't is night and day. So I guess that kind of summarizes, my background, where I'm coming from, and what I've accomplished in the last 10 weeks. I've expanded my range. My sound is huge. I feel more flexible, more endurance. Everything is just better. So I want to document where I am now and where I end up. I plan to audition for a community college group, maybe in the fall, see what I can get, see if they throw me a bone, start going to jam sessions again, and just kind of rediscover this great passion of mine, which I haven't taken a lesson in 12 years. I haven't stuck to any practice routine in about that same amount of time. I've picked up the horn a few times, but nothing serious. And so these last 10 weeks have been kind of my first serious re-encounter with the instrument in 12 years. And there's a lot waiting for me. So thanks so much for listening.